everyone, back to the More YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match preview for Newcastle United's upcoming game against West Ham Monday night at St James's Park under the lights. What a great game this is to come back from the international break. We've got a belter record against this lot over the years. This is really our game at St James's Park, but I'm not going to curse it because you know what can happen in football, especially with Newcastle United at times. We're going to get stuck right into this in a minute. Talk about how we think the guys are going to line up, talk about that position as well, and talk about how we think the game is going to go. Just before we do, a little reminder, if this is the kind of thing you like, smash subscribe below. Help get us to the 9,000 subscriber mark. We're only about 100 or so away, which is awesome. Once we get there, we're going to auction off a brilliant prize, which is the Kevin Keegan retro blue style shirt from the 90s, which is an absolute cracker to have for anybody's retro shirt collection or Newcastle United fan as well. So help get us to 9K, guys. If you're subscribed, recommend us to family and friends, like the video and help the channel grow. It really helps us as well. So let's get stuck in. So West Ham, as I say, after the international break, you couldn't ask for a better game, really, for Newcastle United. This is the start of the kind of run of fixtures coming over the line where Newcastle really on paper should be getting a good number of points here and really pushing to get back into that top four in the Premier League and really start that Champions League drive again in this season, because that's what we need to have. We want it. We had a taste of it. After 20 years, we want it again. The club wants it again. Eddie wants it again. So the club are in a real good position here to maximise these fixtures coming over the hill, with the likes of Leicester and Brentford to come as well. West Ham's a start. Palace, I think, is in there as well. So there's some winnable games. And this is, for me, is definitely a winnable game as well. So this is how I think we're going to line up. It's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. Only kind of one real change to the starting lineup, effectively, which is going to be Lloyd Kelly coming in left centre-back for Dan Burn, who's suspended. He got a yellow card, obviously, in the last game, and then that's his fifth yellow card, I think, so he's suspended for this game. But the rest of the team picks itself. Nick Pope in goal. Tino continuing at right back as well. I don't know if Trips will be back from injury. I think maybe had a little bit of a setback, or he's maybe not quite going to be there. Callum Wilson possibly as well. Similar, they keep talking about his injury still there. People are speculating whether the two of them are going to be sold in January. But if Callum is fit to be on the bench, this is definitely his game. He loves a goal against West Ham, so that'll be an interesting one to watch. We're going back to the back four. It's going to be Fabian Schär at right centre back, Lloyd Kelly at left centre back, and Lewis Hall at left back, who, what a week he's had as well. Made his debut for England, looked absolutely brilliant. To get 100 caps under his belt when he played, he just gets better and better and better. He will have a tricky game because he's got Kudus one side, Bow on the other, to switch sides for him and Tino. It's going to be a difficult day because those two are very talented players. West Ham ain't in great form, but they can still win a game on their own, those two. So he's going to have to be on his toes. But also, those two are going to have to watch Lewis Hall and Livramento bombing up the other way. The two of them got a taste of England international duty. I think that's going to be the sign of things to come. These two starting for England moving forward. Tino got an assist effectively for Anthony Gordon, who got his first England goal. Jared Bowen also got his first England goal, so he'll have his backup as well coming back from the international break. But the rest of the team, looking in there, there's a bit of a change you can see there. So this is how we ended that game, with Joe Linton in right back, right wing in the last game, and he was absolutely superb. He really was. He was man of the match. He was absolutely brilliant. He took the game really, to Forest there, and he absolutely bossed it for us in that right wing position. And I think that's what's going to happen. So the midfield for me will be Bruno Guimaraes. It'll be Sean Longstaff continuing his run the team. And again, Sean deserves a spot in the team. He splits the opinion of a lot of fans. He works his nuts off. You can never doubt that about him. And he's looked much better in games. And I think having Sean in the team gives good balance to that midfield. And that's definitely the way Eddie's going to go from now. It's frustrating for Sandro Tonali, again, who was excellent for Italy in midweek. Sandro said some really nice things about playing for Newcastle as well. So hopefully Sandro understands the situation in the squad, and he has to play well when he comes on. And he is doing that to try and earn the shirt off Sean. Nice to have competition. But Joe Willock in that midfield as well, who looks back to his best. There's almost, ever since I did a video saying he might be regressing as a player, he's just come back and looked absolutely class as Joe Willock, to be fair, with that running and that pace and that power, that skill that he has, the ability to get us up the park. Every inch the Joe Willock that we know and love, and the goals will come as well if he keeps playing like that, because he's a hell of a player for us when he's fully fit. And in the front three, I moved Anthony Gordon back over to his natural left wing position. Isak to the middle again, who scored goals for Sweden in the national break, looked amazing. We've all seen that clip, the little flicks and the tricks and the spins. Isak looks like he's got his chest out and he's ready to go. And then Joe Linton on that right-hand side as well. And I think that is a side that can beat West Ham at home. We've got a great record against this lot as well. And I really think we can do it. But in terms of the West Ham team, it's a bit early for me to do the team news when I'm recording this, but it probably will come out in the next few days. But this is the way they ended their last game. It was a 0-0 draw against Everton. They actually got outplayed largely by Everton. They're lacking in possession. I think the shooting wasn't particularly great either. And Everton are not a great side. We saw that. We struggled to beat Everton. They're not a particularly great side. They've only got one ball. That's the Calvert-Lewin. And they're not brilliant. So West Ham are really on a bit of a downward turn. They sit 14th in the league in terms of their form guide. They've drawn and lost the last 2 games. We've won both of our last 2 games. Prior to that, we lost 2. West Ham, kind of lost 1 and won 1, then drew 1. So they're not in the best of form. There's questions over the manager. So I don't think this is a great time for West Ham to be travelling up north to St James's Park, as I'm sure a lot of their fans will probably agree as well. But going back to the danger men for West Ham, I mean, there is one guy straight away that jumps out. I love him as a player. I'd love Newcastle to sign him. As I just said, he got his first England goal midweek, and that's Jared Bowen. So even though West Ham are struggling, Jared Bowen is still a fantastic player. He's got 11 Premier League appearances, 3 goals and 2 assists. So West Ham have scored the same amount of goals as us, but they've conceded 19 goals this season. So they can be got at the back. And when they signed these players, we all thought West Ham were going to be really pushing us for the kind of top 6, top 5 positions in the Premier League, but the likes of Wan-Bissaka, Todibo, Max Kilman have not quite clicked as much as maybe the fans were hoping that they would do. But there is gaps behind there, we can get in behind them, especially with those 3 up front that we've got there, all playing on form. Again, Gordon getting his first goal. He'll be coming in here with his chest out as well. He'll be buzzing, waiting to get back to it. Isak looks back to his best. Joe Linton's dangerous on that right-hand side as well. So I really think that this is a great time for us to play West Ham. In terms of the kind of out ball, I think Fulkrig is obviously had his injuries, not quite made it, for the kind of West Ham starting 11 like he should have done. Still got Danny Ings coming off the bench as well, which is not ideal for them as a football club. So they're stuck with kind of Mikel Antonio or Callum Wilson's podcast pal up front. And, Mikel works hard. He's coming at the end of his career. He's not quite the player that he used to be. He'll still try and rough up the back two, Kelly and Shea. But Kelly's got a lot more pace than Dan Burn. I mean, Dan Burn loves that kind of game up against a physical striker, and he'll give as good as he gets. But Kelly's got a bit more pace about him. I think he can sniff out any runs that Antonio might make. But the danger men for me, definitely, I think, is Jared Bowen and Kudos as well. Somerville, the sign as well, is a very talented player. I think that out wide is the danger really for West Ham. That's kind of where they play. Paquette is still a very good player as well. He scored against us last time. He's a dangerous player. When he's on at Bruno's best buddy, and when them two play against each other, they always seem to want to get stuck in and nail each other as well. But yeah, for me going forward, I think in this game, I think Newcastle United, rightly so, should feel confident about getting a result in this game. The record is good against West Ham at home. We've just come back from beating Forest 3-1. We played excellent in that second half. We've been away at this warm weather camp as well in Saudi. The lads will be rested, recuperated, buzzing, waiting to get back. The England lads had a great week as well. Like I say, Tino, Hall, Gordon, and Isak, with his national team as well. So the lads should come back in really fine form. And I think we'll have too much for West Ham. I really do. I do like West Ham as a side. I think I've got some talented players. As I say, I'm not disrespecting them. If Jared Bowen shows up, he could be a real threat for us all day. But I think the way our wing backs are playing right now, I think they'll handle them. They really will. And I think West Ham are struggling for form. So I'm going to go for Newcastle United 3, West Ham 1 in this game. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this game. Are you worried about West Ham? Do you think we need to be a little bit concerned, like Jared Bowen, players like that? Maybe Somerville or Kudos, other players out on that wing. Paqueta, they have got some good players. Do we need to be worried that they might find form in this game? Or are you confident Newcastle are on the right run of form and we can come back from this break and really go at it and push to try and get back in that top 4 with this run of fixtures? We always like to hear from you. Smash a comment and we'll do our best to reply to you. As I mentioned at the start, like and subscribe, help the channel grow. We'll be back with a post-match on Monday night rather than a normal Monday night show. It'll be a post-match review. So jump in the comments live with us and have a chat, hopefully, about Newcastle United win. Have a crack weekend, everybody. We'll see you later. Cheers.